Hey guys, welcome to my first video. I know I filmed it vertically, but that's something that I'm learning not to do from now on. But these are just pretty much recaps from the last couple of months of working on this terrarium. As you can see, it's looking a bit different to what it does now. Like that baby tears moss in the middle's no longer around. Spoiler alert. But this video will just be a quick rundown of the work that I've put into it and sort of the ecosystem that I've built. As you saw earlier, I introduced isopods in, and this baby slug managed to sneak in on the baby tears. I was a little bit worried about slugs and things eating my plants, but that's one thing I'll give this is I was unaware of things when I started this, and I've learned so much, and it's just been a real nice thing to watch. So in this clip that you're watching now, I'm releasing my first predator, which was just a little garden centipede that I'd found. I put that in to sort of monitor and keep down the numbers of the isopods. I just needed something to complete the food chain. Every time I put something new in, I love watching it explore and just check out its new surroundings. Usually they'll find a new home pretty quickly. After I put the centipede in, I realized that why don't I put something else in, which is sort of like something that can eat the isopods but also eats plant material. So I found these earwigs out in my backyard and put those in. But I find with everything that I put into this, it's got its own part and its own function into this terrarium. And as you can see, the baby tears is slowly starting to die. It's quite sad, but I realized I was watering it too much and it wasn't getting enough airflow. So I removed one of the glass lids and started to water it less frequently. I think by that point the moss had pretty much had it. At this point it was pretty cool to see the centipede coming out and popping his head out and saying hello, but he doesn't really do that anymore. He's quite elusive. So when I noticed the earwig eating the carcass of an isopod, it was the first time I'd ever eaten. When I saw this earwig eating the carcass of the isopod, I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen them eat. And the same goes for this, like, I couldn't believe it. I thought I was on an episode of National Geographic. But I mean, we're better to record isopod porn than on top of a crocodile head-shaped bit of wood. Anyway, I eventually cut out a chunk of the moss and replaced it with a rabbit foot fern. I quite like the look of it because the legs look like a tarantula, like the legs of a tarantula with all the hairs. But no, I'm happy with the replacement. And there's a couple of green shoots in the moss, and there's been less now, but I mean it's not 100% dead, so I'll be interested to see if one day it comes back. So I used to put like grass that I rip out of the grass and for food for the isopods because they like decaying material. But then I ended up trying some fruit. There's a bit of apple as you can see, and they ended up loving it. I'd see groups of them just sitting on top of this apple. And then there's the centipede, I'm pretty sure even having a munch there as well. I couldn't believe it. And then not long after that I got my first spider. Jumping spider I found outside. I love jumping spiders from just how much personality they have. Like you put your finger up to them and they'll turn and look at you, and I don't know, I just find they have a lot of personality. But I ended up feeling bad for this spider and took him out. I don't know, he was on the walls and kept looking out the glass. Yeah, I just felt bad for him. And then not long after I took him out, I found a younger jumping spider, put him in, and then I noticed that there was a little spider web from the previous jumping spider, so he had made a home. So I felt bad about that. But this is the resident jumping spider that still lives in here to this day. I went out looking for more bugs, and I found this cockroach, which I thought was a wood cockroach, and I put it in, ended up sending it to my mate, and he told me it was a German cockroach, which are invasive, and they'll end up taking over little spaces, and didn't want that in there, so I ended up taking it out. One night I ended up turning it around and noticed that these two had made a burrow under the soil, and they lived right next to each other. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a bit ironic how the prey was pretty much living in the house of the predator. And then among some of the other bugs that I found this, which at first I thought it was like a different kind of centipede, but after doing some research I actually found out that it is a millipede. The difference between a millipede and a centipede is a millipede is 2 legs per segment, whereas a centipede is one pair of legs per segment, and 2 pairs of legs per segment is a millipede. But this guy usually just keeps to himself. I haven't really seen him many times pop out. I love trying to find the home of the jumping spider, and I came home one night and saw this guy just tucked up in one of the cyclamen leaves that was still growing. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. We're almost up to date now, and the other day I went out and got a couple of locusts. I got this little baby one, which I tried in the terrarium. I put heaps of grass in there, which is in these later clips, just for the food. I didn't want it to eat my plants. But it's doing better than I thought. But then the other night I was videoing under crocodile wood, we'll call it. I noticed that this slate was very close to the centipede. The centipede lives under that bit of wood. So any isopods that go near, beware. So that's pretty much been the gist of the last couple of months. I'll probably leave the rest of this video just to play these clips of stuff I've gathered. And yeah, I'm definitely not the greatest at this, so I won't claim that I am. But I only get better over time, right? Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll do the lame ass YouTuber thing and subscribe if you want. Later.